this sounds like a workable plan for the first time, I think, ever since Priti Patel's been Home Secretary. But is it?
Is it a workable plan?
Yeah.
Well, let's wait and see is all I can say. This is not the first time that she's mentioned this. We were talking about it 3 months ago, frankly, when the new bill and the new plans for immigration and asylum were first published. And it's not even that new, frankly. The idea of offshore processing centres goes back to no less a person than Tony Blair 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not new, and certainly it's not that revolutionary. I see no reason why we can't consider applications while people await the outcome of those applications, wherever they are. If it's in Africa, or if it's across the Channel, or if it's in Greenland, frankly, it doesn't really matter, so long as they're treated well, they're comfortable, and they can wait the outcome of their application.
Yes, presumably the point of this, Alp, is that these would be people returning from Britain, having already made it here, because Denmark are talking about having a centre in Rwanda. But that would be presumably not for people currently in Calais who would be somehow taken to Rwanda, but for people who had made their way from Calais to here and would then be taken to Rwanda.
Yeah, well, that's what happens now. They get over here, they utter the magic words, "I want asylum," and that's it. They're here to stay. Of the 6,000 or so who've come here so far this year, which is roughly 2.5 times what happened by this time last year, and we're heading towards well over 20,000 if that continues. But so far, of those who have come illegally across the Channel, none, not one has been returned. So clearly it works. And that's why we've got to do something firm and decisive about it. And this would do it. Well, if the Danes can do it, and if the Australians can do it, why can't we, for goodness sake? We're an independent country now.
Yes. Although people say one of the reasons we find it so difficult to do is because of the ease of access to cross the Channel now. And it's now become an industrial business with the way the traffickers are making so much money, with the numbers that they can now bring, with the relative safety. When people talk about they're risking their lives coming here, but I mean, apart from 1 or 2 incidents, it's very rare for anyone to have a problem on the journey, is there?
Yeah, well, of course it's tragic when any human being loses their life. And certainly that's what I would say to all those who are saying, oh, what we're doing is wicked, is cruel. Is it any more cruel than shoving a lot of these people into the arms of traffickers? I would say not. If they are safe, it doesn't matter where they are. And frankly, it would be in the French, Belgian, EU's interest generally if they came in on this. Because where do these people come from? So many of them make their way through safe countries, through Europe, to get the other side of the Channel. If the French, frankly, on this issue had any sense, they would say, yes, let's work together. Let's toughen and strengthen the borders of the EU, and then let's actually treat these people. If they want to apply for asylum, fine. If they are waiting somewhere else, fine. However, when the decisions are made, then what I would say is that we also deal with them quickly. We either return them back to the countries that they came from, or indeed, if they qualify, if they're granted asylum, then we quickly bring them either here or wherever else they're heading for.
And if this was to be something that was actually set up and people were taken to Africa to be processed, they'd have to ensure, presumably, that once they were processed, if they were refused, that they would be taken somewhere else. But I don't know where that would be.
Well, go back to the countries that they come from.
Yeah, but we can't do that for a lot of people, can we? Because we can't deport them to...
Sorry, Mike.
No, I was going to say, we can't deport them to certain countries because of the rules that we have in place that say we can't deport people to places where they might be done harm to.
Well, some of our courts, I think, do bend over backwards, actually, to accept the word of those who are seeking a better life. But that aside, of course, there will be those that we can't do anything about. But we would very likely have arrived at the conclusion that we couldn't send them back early on anyway. The vast majority of people who are coming here and claiming asylum and don't qualify, frankly, can return to their countries of origin perfectly easily. And we also have the wherewithal to put pressure on the countries who are refusing to document their nationals or refusing to accept them. That's what we're not doing at the moment, not really making the effort. Can I also say, though, Mike, that we've heard all this before, frankly. The government is very good at talking tough, saying, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and nothing happens. Admittedly, on occasions, it's not Priti Patel and it's not her ministers. Very often it's other ministers who behind the scenes are saying we can't do this, or indeed Parliament and the charities and all these different organizations who put the pressure on and stop her from doing what she probably wants to do. This is an indication that she's up for it.
Yes.